Oh,
Interesting.
wow, that's new.
That's a new thing that it's chiming in. So sorry about that. Everyone will be muted, so we're ready to go. There's a lot of bright sunshine here this morning in San Francisco, but wherever you are, there is a full moon ready to happen. So tomorrow, so that's why we're doing honoring of the moon tonight, wherever you are. So come to a comfortable seat. We'll move to child's pose pretty quickly. But do make sure that your sits bones are anchored on the edge of that cushion or blanket and that you settle in, feeling the earth beneath you, the sky above, coming into the presence of your space, and closing the eyes so we can come into practice all in unison, cutting out our visual distractions, which are plentiful around us these days. Tap into the breath. Begin the silent witnessing of your breath. As we inhale, replenishing our entire body, system, nervous system, mind and soul. As we exhale, releasing out what you don't need. As you witness the breath, notice the sensations in the body as you lengthen your exhale. A sense of calm increases as you tap into the breath. Along with this noticing, become aware of the diaphragm that expands as you inhale and then gently rises up as you exhale. So that's at the center of our torso, energetic source for us. So become aware of that movement of the diaphragm at the low ribs, expanding as you inhale and rising as you exhale. We'll try to imitate the fullness, the sense of fullness as you inhale, that full moon feeling, and a full release as you exhale. Having the exhales be a little bit longer than the inhales are very beneficial for the full cycle of breath. And now that we've been witnessing for a few moments, I can invite you to a conscious breath. I've been taking a little tour of different kinds of breath, and this one is the moon passing breath that we have not done before. If you have any issues with low blood pressure, I would say just do a nice witnessing breath, but this is an alternate nostril breath. So if you want to join me in that, I welcome you to join me. But if you want to just take that nice easy breath as well, this is really good for high blood pressure. So that's a good thing, and many other things. So you can take the middle finger to the left side of the nostril, just high up there, just to block the air temporarily, and then take the thumb to the other nostril and the index finger to that third eye. And on your inhale, slightly close off the breath on the right side with that thumb. And inhale, if you don't have a cold, again, another thing to just come back to regular breath. Inhale through the left nostril, and then switch the fingers so that you're covering the left nostril and exhale through the right nostril. Now close off the right nostril again and inhale through the left again. Close off the left nostril, release the right, and exhale through the right. So what we're doing is continue this rotation if you'd like. Inhale through the left, and then close off and exhale through the right. We're sending that attention to the left nostril. This increases our connection to the calming side, of the brain to the intuition, that kind of making intuitive decisions, and going into a deeper shadow place in your consciousness. So that left nostril allows a pathway there. As you breathe in, allow that sense of a white light, kind of like a moonlight, shining in, coming and streaming into the body, enlightening things, and then exhaling out the right nostril. 4 more rounds of this. At your own pace, of course. Release the hand. And let's take 3 more rounds of our autonomic breath, just witnessing any changes in sensations after that brief breath practice of moon passing breath. Gently flutter the eyes open. And then we'll change to our child's pose. For child's pose, if you have any discomfort behind the knees or with the knees, you can roll a blanket up behind the knees, and that will keep that flexion a little bit higher, further away, so you don't have to press down like that. Or you can cushion below your knees, which I like to do. And come into child's. So you can choose to have the knees wide apart or close together, but we'll take the big toes together, the hips go to the heels, and reach the arms out long. We'll take a nice long arm child's pose with the forehead on the mat. As you descend toward the mat, increase your awareness of the back body. So because of the theme of our moon, we have the shadow side of the moon, and this back body in the back of the lungs can become a shadow side of the body. But let's bring our consciousness to the back of the lungs and feel that air fill the back of the lungs as you breathe in, and then feel the release of the rib cage as you breathe out. Allow the third eye, that still contemplation point, to also relax in between the eyebrows. Unfurrow the brow and reach the arms out long. Feel the length of the side bodies. And then bring your hands into prayer position. So you're going to press the palms together, reaching out long away from the crown of the head. And if you can press the elbows into the mat and see if you can bring that prayer position upward towards the sky. And then down to the mat. So you're pivoting on those elbows up and down. This is opening up the back of the shoulders, triceps. As you inhale, the arms come up, you point upward, and as you exhale, they come down towards the mat. With each inhale and rising of your hands, maybe you go a little closer to the back of your head. Maybe not, that's okay. And then bring the hands down and then reach out with the palms on the mat. Opening up the hands, really expand through the fingertips. And then we're going to come up through a cat position. So tuck the tailbone, feel the navel reaching up towards the ceiling, the back of the ribs, and then lift the hips up. And then onto the hands and knees, and here we are in our cat pose. Yes, I see them out there, Halloween cats. Feel that expansion, the shoulder blades separating. And then exhale, let's lift the tailbone up towards the sky, navel comes down towards the mat. And then you want to squeeze the shoulder blades together and then look up, cow pose. Inhale, let's take a cat again. Tucking that tailbone under, reaching up towards the sky. Taking a tour of your spine. Exhaling into cow. And then come into a neutral spine and we'll get moving towards our knee plank. Take your knees about 2 inches behind you. Keep them hip width apart. The hands come out about 2 inches as well. And then you're going to move the hips forward so that your shoulders track over the wrists, or just a little behind the wrists is okay. If you have wrist issues, then I'd stay behind the wrists a little bit. You want to squeeze imaginary magazine rolled up under your armpit. Squeeze down on it. Feel that engagement of your shoulders. Relax the neck, but reach the crown of the head long. And then check in with the glutes. See that they're engaged about 20%. And check in with your tailbone pointing towards your heels. So now you're fully engaged. You're ready and steady in this knee plank. Inhale, exhale, slide back to child's pose. And just touch down briefly, feeling that length of the spine, and then inhale through cat again, over to knee plank. So arch that spine, take a tour there of your spine, curling, and then steady it in our knee plank. If you want to join me in our lizard push-ups, as if you were a little lizard in the desert doing those mini push-ups, keep the elbows pointing towards the ribs, and then bend the elbows and down slightly, just a few inches, or as long as you want, down as you want, and then back up again. Inhaling, exhaling down, and up again. One more, press through the fingertips. Down, and then up and slide back to child's pose. Make this very fluid movement. So we're gliding through each pose and then come into cat. Come back to our knee plank, nice and strong. Lizard push-ups. 2 and 3 of those. Slide back to child's, or keep those knees safe. Come down. Inhale back up through cat. And then back to knee plank. Now this is our base pose from knee plank, but we're going to go to high cobra here. So I want you to protect the lower back by pointing that tailbone towards your heels. And the bend here is mostly into the mid and upper back. So what you want to do is open your heart up and unfold the heart. The shoulders roll back towards the back of the mat, and then the head rises. So this doesn't have to be deep in the lower back. What you want to do is press the tops of the feet down and open that heart. Suspend briefly here in high cobra. Lift the crown of the head. And then come back to child's pose. Good job. Now, come on up through cat. We're taking such delicious traveling through that cat pose back towards knee plank, but you're not going to go all the way to knee plank. You're going to come into all fours again. And we're going to do crescent moon lunge. So inhale, and we'll take the right knee up towards the right elbow. You can help your foot forward on the ankle, take the right foot on the inside of the right hand. So now we've got our baseline here, which is a low lunge. Take the back knee, the left knee back, just an inch or two. And then establish your base here. So we've got the right foot footprint, spread the toes, and we've got the back foot, the top of the foot pressing into the mat. So you feel that front foot and the back foot connection, right? And you're lengthening the right side. Pull the fingertips back towards the back of the mat. Does that lengthen your spine a bit through the crown of the head? Inhale and exhale. Settle in here to that base. And then come on up on an inhale. Keep the arms hanging down. So as you hang the arms down, notice the evenness through the hips. You want to make sure that that front knee stays in the middle of those two toes and tracking behind the toes. But you're really dropping the hips here, pressing through that back foot. You're going to really feel it in your quad on that left side. Strong base here. And then inhale, reach our arms towards the moon. And then bring the hands together, point the index finger up, clasp the rest of the fingers, arms next to the ears, reach upward, and then open that heart like we were with that high cobra. And look up. And then release the hands, swan dive down around that front foot, and then bring it back to our base of all fours. Slide the hips back into child's pose. Inhale into the back body. Exhale, release it out. And then inhale again through our cat. And then slide forward, we'll do that high cobra again. So come to knee plank. And then you can unfold the heart forward. So point the tailbone towards those feet. And then look ahead, suspend in our high cobra. And then come slide the hips back. Touch down in child's pose. Gracefully come through cat. And then we'll take the left knee forward. Grab the ankle if you wish. Put the left foot down on the inside of the left hand. Adjust your back knee, maybe back about an inch. Press through the front foot and the top of that back foot. Feel the length on your right side. And then inhale yourself up to our hips forward position. Feeling the hips drop. So you're finding that base, the gravity. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, touch the moon. Steeple hands. And then unfold that heart forward, look up towards the sky. And really feel the length in the side bodies. Crescent moon pose. And then swan dive those arms around that front foot and draw that knee back. Beautiful trip there through our crescent series. And then we're going to move to a seated position. So turn yourself around and we'll come onto a edge of that blanket in cross-legged or whatever's comfortable for you too. You can kneel as well. Find that comfortable seat. Find your anchor again. I know let's appreciate our gravity. There's no gravity on the moon, so it's anchoring us through those sits bones. Take tent fingertips next to you. Feel those extra roots, appreciating them below us as we rise up towards the sky. Let's turn the palms up towards the sky, reach up, lengthen through both sides of the ribs, and then take the clasp of the fingers together and palms towards the sky. Inhale, expand, diaphragm, and then exhale, feel the diaphragm rise up the bottom of those ribs. And then we'll take the clasp of the hands, palms forward, and bring it down to the base of the skull. And we're going to do some side bends here with the elbows out to the side. As we do that support, keep that support of your palms at the base of the skull, and a little bit of traction, so you can even give a little length of support from those hands upward. And then we'll take a right ear towards right shoulder, right elbow comes towards the floor. So really not a too deep movement here, just a swaying, exhaling, inhale, upward, and exhale, let's take it to the left. Inhale up, and let's take that again, supporting the neck the whole time so we're not just hanging out in space. And to the left. Support your head rising up again. Connect the skull and the sacrum, nice and aligned here. And we'll take our turn to the right. So gently turn the chin over towards your right shoulder. And breathing steady back through center, over the left shoulder. Back and forth, support that movement. Maybe you have some sticking points. See if they can get a little clearance with each turn. Taking a little weight off of our necks here with that traction. Come back and your elbows are pointing out kind of butterfly wing style. And now we're going to close those wings. So inhale, let's feel that heart space fill up. And then exhale, let's bring the elbows together as the spine curls forward, curls backward towards the back of your room. See if you can bring the elbows together. And if you don't, that's okay. And then open up. Again, that heart space filling up and exhaling. Elbows together. Inhale, open up, exhale, together. One more time. Exhale together. Nice. And release your hands out into T arms, reaching out as far as you can imagine, and then swaying side to side. Trying to grab someone's hand on the left and then on the right, feeling the ribs go side to side here. We're loosening up and increasing the flexibility of our whole spine here. You've got a steady base and flexibility on top. And then come back to center. And we'll bring the elbows, bend the elbows, bring the right palm above the left, and then clasp the fingers together. Hold that, and then begin to twist the rib cage to the right, and then the shoulders, and then the neck and the head. And come back through center on an inhale, exhale, squeeze it over to the left. Ribs, shoulders, neck, head, look over. Keeping that hand position, try it again. And come back forward, and we'll release the hands and switch that the left is on top of the right. And then we'll clasp those fingers. Inhale, exhale, twist. Now change the cross of the legs. And then we'll take our prayer position. So in prayer position here, your elbows are going to be out and you're going to press the hands together. So we really feel that engagement when you press the hands together. You'll feel the shoulders lock in a nice plugged in feeling. And then we'll take our lotus, which is just a beautiful mudra. So let's take the fingertips down in that prayer position, and then the back of the hands come together. And then we offer out that beautiful energy outward in these cupped hands. Inhale, bring it back to the body, filling with positive energy, back of the hands together, back to prayer. You can repeat this, opening up to lotus, back to prayer, fluidity through those wrists, and coming back to prayer. And now from prayer, we'll do our Batman eyes. Again, great for the wrists and ergonomics. Flip the hands around. Let's see, sorry, I'm doing this the wrong way. Fingertips come towards you and then lift up and take the index and thumb, those cat eye glasses, and elbows out to the side, and then bring it back to prayer. Exhaling, inhaling back to our cat eyes. Exhaling back to prayer. And one more time up to the Batman cat eye. Elbows out to the side and back to prayer. Shake out the wrists. And then we'll widen our legs out into a wide forward bend. So I want you to, not forward bend, a wide leg stand, seated position. So take those legs out long and straight. You can flex the toes, look at your toes and spread them out. Sit up on the edge of that blanket. Oh, I got a note there to make sure I'm tracking that. And then take the fingertips tented beside you. Lift the crown of the head up. Beautiful. And feel that anchor of your fingertips as well. And then take those fingertips and put them in front of you and feel the rise of the crown of the head. And that lower back curve is there. And maybe you hinge at the hips and walk forward a little bit. Maybe not, just stay feeling that opening across the inner thighs by sitting up. No over efforting here. We can take that intuitive moon energy and just listen to the body. Okay. We can slow it down. And then walk the hands back. And then come back to bend the knees together. And then we'll come over to our all fours, but this time facing the camera, your computer. Place that blanket to the side. And place any props to the side as we move towards our standing sequence. And curl the toes under. And then lift the knees off the mat, lift the hips off the mat, using that strength through the arms. And you're going to take your feet wide. So the feet will come, we're coming towards a wide forward bend. So keep them wider than hip width apart. And you can just adjust those feet, plant those footprints down, and then take the hands down to the mat below the face and come up to a flat back. Even if you want to rise up on those fingertips, that's okay. Feel the length and the hinging through the hips and the length through the crown of the head. Press down through those fingers, through the feet and the fingers. Inhale, exhale, and then take the hands to the hips. Use that core strength to inhale yourself as if you had wings behind you. And come on up to our wide stance. So we're using that strength through the foundation of the feet. As you press into the feet, you'll feel the hips engage. Stand with the hands at the hips, and we're going to take a moon salutation. It's called Chandra Namaskar. So this is the opposite of the sun salutations. Inhale, exhale, and we're taking that wide stance. Heel toe yourself in a little bit, take the heels inward and the toes outward. Make sure that your knees track over the toes. Inhale and exhale, the pelvis comes down towards the earth and the knees go towards those middle two toes. Goddess pose. Cactus arms, inhale. Exhale, sigh out the air. Beautiful. Inhale, let's come on up. Stretch out the arms so you take like a starfish shape here. Fully expand, and then exhale, come back into goddess. So you really feel that pointing the tailbone downward, settling into that position. And then inhale, expand the arms out. Exhale, settle into goddess. Beautiful. And then straighten out those legs, and we'll establish ourselves towards side angle pose. So in this position, the toes are going to come out to the right towards the long side of the mat. Your front heel is going to be lined up with the back arch. So the back toes are going to be pointing towards the front edge of the mat. So not the back, but the front. And you're going to angle it about 45 degrees. So this is our same base that we have for our proud warrior and for triangle. And I want to make sure that you keep the front foot, the right knee, tracking over the middle two toes. Take the hands to the hips. The hips are going to be slightly pointing towards the top of the mat, but the idea is that we're a little more open towards the long edge of the mat. Inhale, hands to the hips. Exhale, descend, point that tailbone downward, and begin to bend the right knee towards those middle two toes. You might want to adjust your stance here. We're coming to that base. Now magnetize the feet together, and notice if you energetically pull them together, you'll feel that strength in the glutes. Inhale, and we'll lengthen out through the spine, and then we'll tilt over towards the right thigh. If you can bring that bend in the knee towards a right angle on the thigh parallel to the floor, great. If not, keep it diagonal. Tilt over that right thigh, bring the right elbow to the right thigh. Roll the shoulder away from the ear. Reach the left arm up towards this moon sky. And then reach the left arm along the left ear. Getting length from that side of the left foot all the way through the fingertips of the left hand. Inhale, point your tailbone towards that back heel, right, and feel the hips engage there. And then sweep the left arm up towards the sky, nice and circular here, back up. And then let's bring ourselves to parallel feet and take our twist here in the middle. Inhale, grow long, hinge at the top of the thighs, come forward into a flat back. Bring the hands down below you, keeping a nice long back. Take the left hand down below the face, and then twist over to your right. Ribs, sternum, shoulders. Touch the sky with that right arm, nice and long. Collarbones long. Exhale, bring the right hand down below the face. Inhale, let's twist to the left. Open up the ribs, sternum, the gaze. Reach the sky with that left arm. And then exhale down to earth. And then I know you guys are super strong through the core, so take your hands to the hips and then hinging upward, we'll take it to the other direction. So take the left toes to the side, angle that front heel with the back arch. And so take that right toes pointing slightly towards the front of the mat at the 45-degree angle. Feel the magnetic energy between the feet, engaging your strength, those big muscles. Inhale, exhale, bend the left knee towards those two toes. And see how parallel you can get that front thigh to the mat. Maybe nudge your back foot back. And then tilt over, hinging at that left hip. Left elbow comes to left thigh. And then take the right arm up towards the sky, right? I see that. And then sweep the right arm next to the right ear. Length through the right side, pressing through the feet for that strong foundation. and the flexibility on top. Roll that right shoulder away from the ear in case it starts creeping up there. Keep the gaze soft, like the face of the moon looking down on us. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the right arm up, and then make that nice circular motion coming up. Straighten the left knee, come forward, and we'll take Goddess here to take our middle pose. So angle those feet out, toes out, and then come down into Goddess. Arms up in cactus. As you inhale, let's straighten out everything. Straighten out the arms and the legs, star. Exhale into Goddess. Using those really strong legs, thighs, and then inhale up again. Expand, reach, and then exhale down to Goddess. Great. Back again, reach out, and then hands to the hips. Let's take a trip through this. So with the moon salutation, you're honoring the different directions. Normally in a room, I would have you turn your bodies the other direction to do the other side, just for the full circular effect. Because I'm in front of the camera, I'm gonna just face you and we'll take a trip to the left. So let's take a side angle to the left again. Getting our strength activated here. Left toes to the side and same angle with the feet. Inhale, exhale, then the left knee. This time, tap into your strength there through the feet and then hinge at that left hip, lean on over, left elbow to left thigh, reach the sky with the right and then along the right ear. With your inhale, expand the body. With your exhale, feel the settling of the feet and the roots below you. And then sweep the right arm up. Take the hands to the hips and change that foot position. So we're going to go to the other side. Right toes pointing out. Lengthen the spine, nice and vertical, and then exhale, point that tailbone down. Feel that navel engage towards the spine, so you've got your core engaged. Tilting on over to the right. Right elbow down to the right thigh. Touch the sky with the left fingertips, and then along the left ear. Find your breath. Sweep the left arm up towards the sky. Come back up. Point the fingertip, point the toes forward. Expand into that star pose. And then we'll take our toes out, turning out toward Goddess. And then to close this, we'll come into Goddess again. Beautiful. Inhale, stand, and want to heel toe into mountain pose. Stand in the middle of the mat and we'll find our length here. Reach up towards the sky. Take the right elbow to, what is the word? Take the right hand and grab the left wrist. And then lean over to the right. So you're really getting long on your left side. Inhale up, take the left hand and grab the right wrist and lean over to the left. Beautiful. Come up to the top of your mat, release your arms down, come up to the top of the mat. Open up those arms in a circular, beautiful circle. Look up at the sky, slight back bend there. And then swan dive yourself down in a forward bend. You can bend the knees if you want to. Come down, touch the earth, bend the knees and bring those hips down to earth. Sits bones down. And then we'll meet down in our reclined position. You can grab a block and we'll just lengthen out here as well. So if you have a book or a block handy, place under the hips. I'm going to get a little lower back relief here. So let's take the soles of the feet to the floor, knees hip width apart. And then we'll take our spa bridge because it's just such a lovely support position. So take the block and then step through strong through your feet. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, take the block underneath your sacrum. Finding all of these nice landmarks of the body, the bottom of the spine, you have that triangular bone. As you settle that sacrum on the block, you'll feel when it's right for you, you'll know it. You can shift the block to find that nice, comfortable spa-like position and take the arms long next to the body. The shoulders melt away from the body towards the earth as it exhale. You can even take the palms up towards the sky to fully feel the restoration, the restorative nature of this position. Inhale. Notice the path of that diaphragm. This time upward, a little diagonal, exhaling, releasing. The rise and fall of the belly. Feeling that settling of the lower back onto the block. Now taking the palms to the mat, feel the length of the arms on the mat. Lengthen out your right leg, nice and long. You might want to settle onto that block a little differently, so that's okay, readjust. And stand on an imaginary surface with your right foot. So just imagine you're standing on a surface. And then release the foot out to the side. And then lengthen out the left leg. Stand on an imaginary surface, that foot, and then release it out to the side. Another settling will happen. Your hip bones are pointing up towards the sky, more prominent. Take your fingertips and just notice where those hip bones are, those landmarks of our skeleton. Take the fingertips and see if you can widen those hip bones a little bit outward. There's a bit of flexibility through that pelvis, so notice that. Beautiful. Now take the arms up next to the ears. So this super lengthening here. Take the, like we were standing up, take the right arm, right hand to the left wrist, and lengthen out through your left side. And then reverse that stretch. Left hand grabs right wrist. And lengthen out. Beautiful. So this should really give some relief to the lower back, and then just reach the back of the hands and rest them on the floor and feel the length of your fingertips to your toes. Again, back to that awareness of your diaphragm. The lower ribs filling up and exhaling. Releasing all the effort there that your lower back has to often go into. This is a time to release it. Sweep those arms next to the body again. Bend right knee, then left. Plant the feet. And we'll take a happy baby from here just for the fun of it. Inhale your right knee, both your knees towards the armpits. So we're coming into a full happy baby supported with that block. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can just take a regular happy baby on the floor. So the knees, right now we're taking the knees towards the armpits, just feeling that opening in both hips. Inhale. Exhale. And then on your next inhale, take the soles of the feet towards the sky. Hold the sides of the feet or the ankles or the back of the thighs. And then notice where your sacrum is. See if you can find that block with your sacrum. And then feel that press of your thighs towards the earth, feeling very connected there through the gravity, through the connections to our roots below us. Inhale, expand. Exhale, release. One foot down to the earth and then the other. Lift the hips up. Remove the block. Then we'll take figure 4. Inhale the right knee towards the chest. Give a hug. Circle your ankle in one direction and then the other. And take the right ankle over the left thigh. Press your right hand into your right thigh. And then press your thigh into your right hand. Release that. And then reach for your left thigh with your hands. Clasp the hands, back of that thigh. See if you can bring more fluidity in that right hip. Figure 4. Keep your right foot nice and active, so it's pressed into an imaginary wall or a block. Sending imaginary fluid oil can into that right hip. Lift the left leg long towards the sky, reaching through the left heel. Feel that extension along the hamstring. Press the back of the left thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. And you've got nice decompression there happening in the lower back. And then release. If you'd like to have some core engagement here, you can let go of your hands and keep that left foot reaching towards the sky. And then support that again as you bend the left knee, bringing the sole of the foot down to the sky. Yummy, open hips there. See, we can turn this into a twist. How fun. Keep yourself in figure 4. Roll over onto your left side. If this bothers your knees at all, it shouldn't, but if it does, just come into a regular twist. You can grab the right ankle with your left hand. Notice the perpendicular. Your pelvis is perpendicular to the floor. And begin to twist the ribs over to the right, rotating through the mid and upper spine. And see if your right hand can find your left toes. If not, that's okay. If you want to take a quad stretch there, you can do that. Maybe you want to look over your right shoulder. And then you can take that right knee and rock it gently, inch it one back and forth like a screen door. And release your hands, roll up into a figure 4, and unfold yourself back to our base Inhale the left knee towards the face. Circle your ankles. Take the left ankle over the right thigh. Left hand to left thigh. Press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. And release. See if you can reach for your right thigh. Hands clasped behind that thigh into figure 4 while we actively press into an imaginary wall with the left foot. Continue the breath, tapping into the body's intuition about how far it wants to go, the pace that it wants to take. To release. And then take the right foot to the sky, so you're lengthening through the right leg. Reaching long through the right heel. Feel the length. Feel the expansion through the back of that thigh and back of those hamstrings. Press the right thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. Release the hands if you'd like to feel those lower abs engage. Hold that. And then take the hands back to the thigh, bend the knee, bring that right foot down to the earth. And let's take our fun twist. So lift the hips up and roll over onto your right side. Your left foot plants down on the earth. Pelvis is perpendicular to the mat. So I can do this facing from my back to you, just so you know what it looks like on the other side there. Take the right hand and grab the left ankle, or take a traditional twist if you have knee issues. Begin to turn the ribs to the left, and then the shoulders. See if your left hand can find your right toes for a thigh stretch. See if you can melt those shoulders down towards the earth. Easing into this pretzel position. Maybe the left knee sways side to side just an inch or two. Changing our shape and finding the possibilities of our body mobility. On your next inhale, release the hands, come up onto your back into all fours. Not all fours, figure 4. Goodness, too many fours. And then release the left foot down. Bring the knees together, feet wide apart. And then take the arms above the head, thumbs in the elbow creases. We're doing a moon gazing here. Imagine looking up at the starry sky, then the full moon, admiring its amazing sphericalness, bright light, soft light, but still illuminating so much. Celebrate that path of your breath through the body. And then take the arms down beside the body. lengthen the legs out. If you want to place something under your knees just to relieve your lower back, you can do that and make it really relaxing. You can even cover the eyes with a shirt or a scarf. If you want to go deeper into that shadow space, open the palms up towards the sky. Shimmy the shoulders underneath you. So you feel the shoulder blades come together and really expand along the collarbone. Come back to the breath. Just witness any changes in your breath since we began the practice. Send oxygen to those places that might still feel any tension. Feel the diaphragm expand on your inhale, filling the ribs with lungs, and then with lungs with air, and then exhaling, feeling the diaphragm rise towards the lungs, expelling out what we don't need. Celebrating this beautiful air and our atmosphere that we can enjoy. Cycle of breath. If you'd like to imagine some weightlessness that you might experience on the moon's surface, you can imagine your mat as your magic carpet, taking you out on a tour, getting a different view of the earth. With each breath, you feel a sense of lightness, floating. With each exhale, imagine gazing down on one of your favorite places, the colors, dimensions. Or perhaps gazing down on this miraculous big blue marble of a planet. That supports our breath every moment of every day. With your next cycle of breath, bring yourself back down to a gravity familiar earth below you. Find yourself in your space again. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Bend the elbows and the knees and roll over onto your right side. With an inhale, help yourself up to a seated position. Meeting in our comfortable seat with the hands at the heart in prayer position. So wonderful to practice with you all around our points on the globe. Thank you so much for sharing the practice with me today. Namaste.